Ah yes, the heavily debated topic of devil fruits in Grand Peace Online. Believe it or not, there are actually fruits other than Suke in the game. All Grand Peace Online fruits fall into 4 categories: common, rare, legendary, and mythical. Weirdly, common has the least amount of fruits. However, since it still has the highest drop rate, most fruit drops are guaranteed to be a Suke. If a player did give in and decide to eat a Suke, they would gain the powers of invisibility. Now, this doesn't seem so bad at first. Invisibility could be useful, right? Well yes, invisibility is useful. However, when you compare it to the other fruits in the game, it falls a little short. For example, the Logia fruits, which are all legendary, give you powerful elemental attacks. Like for example, Magu gives you magma based attacks. Now, if we compare that to invisibility, it starts to show the obvious strength difference. Suke's weakness in comparison to the other devil fruits has led to it being labelled as useless and the worst fruit in the game. Anyway, that's enough talk about Suke, let's talk about the rare fruits. So the rare fruits are definitely not as bad as Suke, but they're also not as strong as the legendary fruits. As of recording, there are 3 rare fruits in the game: Barry, Bomu, and Mero. Barry is the barrier fruit and lets you create indestructible barriers. I've always found this mechanic to be cool, since you could technically trap people in an inescapable barrier, with the only constraint being that when your stamina runs out, so does your barrier. Bomu, in my opinion, is a little more of an aggressive fruit, with all the attacks being explosion based. Bomu basically gives you a free dash and a free Geppo too, which is nice. I remember when Bomu first came out, it was very popular with a lot of one sword style users because it made up for the lack of mobility. Mero is in my opinion the strongest of all the rares. The fruit's moveset is predominantly stuns, which, if used correctly, can be very useful in PvP and PvE. I'm also pretty sure that Mero has the highest trade value of all the rares, with it sometimes being worth a Barry and a Bomu. Most people who have a rare want to switch to a Logia, but weren't able to get one, so just decided to settle. Honestly, having a rare fruit isn't that bad, and in the right hands it can be just as powerful as a legendary. Next up, we have the legendary fruits. The legendary group used to be exclusively Logias. Despite all legendaries being the same rarity, the trade value on them often fluctuates depending on their usefulness in PvE and PvP. Or in Gura's case, the fact that it is a new fruit ups the price considerably. Getting a Logia devil fruit gives you a huge advantage over all the fruitless players in Grand Peace Online, because of one key reason. Logias have a special advantage of getting Logia dodges. These basically allow the player to dodge almost every attack unless the attacker is using Haki. This is a huge advantage, especially early game, since almost all the NPCs do not have Haki, so you can dodge most of their attacks. It is rare for a new player to get a Logia, however, I've seen the difference having a Logia like Magu can make for the leveling process. It is crazy. The ranged AoE is amazing farming levels and multiple NPCs at once, and surpasses the alternative of a bazooka hugely. Gura is also a legendary, but that devil fruit has a strong moveset that makes it leagues above the rare Paramecias. For example, Gura can create literal tsunamis, whereas the other Paramecias can only create small explosions or small barriers. Now finally, we have the mythical category. There is currently at the time of recording only one mythical fruit. This fruit is of course the phoenix fruit or the Tori Tori no Mi. This fruit is a mythical Zoan, a special kind of Zoan that gives the user the ability to transform to a mythical creature. Okay, now I have to mention the obvious. If there is a mythical Zoan, where are the regular Zoans? Sadly, there are no regular Zoans in the game. I personally would love to see more Zoans added to the game, as I think it would give players the stat boost required to create even stronger weapon or fighting style based builds. Some obvious suggestions would be the Bison and the Falcon fruit. Tori, being the only fruit in its category, is by far the most valuable fruit in terms of trade value. A Tori can be traded for multiple Logias. Getting a Tori in Grand Peace Online is an almost mythical event, and very few people can say they've held one. If you made it to this part of the video, comment down below which fruit you want to see added to the game. Outside of being worth a lot, Tori is an okay fruit. Surprisingly, many regard it not to be the strongest fruit, and in fact believe that it is weaker than some Logias. I personally think that PvP aside, the fruit looks really cool, and the flight and transformation look amazing. The healing ability is also really useful for boss farming, as you can heal your party members. And yeah, that's all you could ever need to know about devil fruits in Grand Peace Online. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. I spend a lot of time making videos daily and it makes me smile when I see that you guys like them. That's all I have to say, see ya.